I was the king of the deep halls. My swords were legendary, too legendary. I made a blade that never missed, and my client accidentally stabbed himself. Twice. 10,000 widows, 10,000 graves, all because I'm too good at my job. I didn't pull the trigger. I just forged the world's most efficient murder sticks. The general came for more blood, more precision. He laughed, touching my steel. He saw a miracle. I saw a graveyard. I had to stop. I told him no. He offered gold. I told him no again. He offered a hero's medal. I told him where he could stick that medal. I took my finest hammer, the one that built empires, and I smashed my own anvil into dust. No more iron, no more blood. I was done. My clan called me a traitor, a coward. They said a dwarf without a forge is just a short human with a beard. They weren't entirely wrong. I sought a new way, a magic that didn't leave a trail of bodies. I sought the elves. I heard they heal the world with songs and leaves. The air in the forest was too sweet. It smelled like flowers and hope. It made me want to sneeze. My boots felt heavy on the moss. I walked for days, past singing trees and floating towers. I was a stain of soot on a canvas of emeralds. I felt small. For once, finally I saw her. Ilara, the master of growth. She didn't look at my scars. She looked at my hands and saw a different kind of fire. The elves called it an eco-sanctuary. No stone, no fire, just vibes. They offered me a bowl of liquid sunlight. It was just tepid moss juice. Ilara told me my hammer was aggressive energy. She made me hug a tree for 3 hours to align my chakras. I just got sap in my beard. Their magic was inclusive. They didn't command the wood. They asked it to grow. I tried asking a log to become a chair. It just ignored me. I was the diverse guest. They watched me eat like I was a rare animal. So brave, they whispered, to live without organic silk robes. I found their life runes. They used them for glow-in-the-dark flowers. What a waste. These runes didn't just look pretty. They were pure, raw recovery. I started meditating in my workshop, which meant locking the door and using a chisel. I hid their soft magic inside hard, sturdy oak. Ilara caught me once. "Garrim, you are manifesting density." I told her it was a therapeutic footrest. She loved the word therapeutic. I tested the chair. 1 minute in, and my old war scars stopped aching. My back felt like I'd slept for a century. I'd done it. "Your aura is so ergonomic now," Ilara chirped. I didn't care about auras. I cared about the thousands of broken soldiers waiting in the mountains. I packed my tools. No more steel, no more blood. I was going home to sell holistic comfort. They would laugh until they sat down. I opened my workshop in the Iron District. Above the door, I hung a sign, "Garrim's Holistic Rest." My old neighbors looked at me like I'd grown a second head. "Where's the steel, Garrim?" they shouted. I told them I was focusing on the internal landscape of the spine. They just spit on the floor and walked away. My first customer was Owen. He had a back so crooked he could look at his own heels. "Fix me, traitor," he growled. I pointed to the chair. Owen sat down. He expected splinters. Instead, the wood hummed. The green runes glowed. I told him to release his negative vibrations. He nearly punched me. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed. Owen stood up straight for the first time in decades. He looked 20 years younger and terrified. "What? What did you do?" Word spread faster than a cave-in. Soon, a line of broken warriors stretched out the door, all seeking alignment. I felt like a master again, almost. I was selling stools for the price of gold axes. "It's not a chair," I told them. "It's a bioenergetic intervention." They didn't care. They just wanted to feel alive. The army took notice. A general arrived, the same one from before. He didn't want a sword. He wanted to know why his scouts were unusually refreshed. He sat in my tactical recliner. 10 minutes later, he was ready to conquer the world again. "Garrim," he whispered, This is better than any steel. I smiled. I thought I'd finally won. I thought I was healing my people. But the general's eyes, they weren't peaceful. They were calculating. I was busy optimizing a sofa when they arrived. 3 elves in silk suits carrying scrolls. They didn't come to sing. They came to audit. "Master Garrim," they chirped, "your use of the life rune violates our intellectual property." They called my work an unauthorized fork of their natural cloud. They didn't want to stop me. They wanted to partner. Within a week, my workshop was a factory. They replaced my soul with scalability. "Too much artisan effort," the elves sighed. They started printing runes on cheap pine. "It's not about quality, Garrim. It's about market penetration." The army loved it. Why sleep for 8 hours when a tactical stool gives you the same energy in 10 minutes? The general bought 1 million. My restoration bed became the combat reboot station. They stripped away the art and kept the raw power. I was just a chief visionary officer. The war changed. It didn't stop. It just became faster. Soldiers fought all day, recharged on my chairs, and fought all night. "Look at the efficiency," the elves cheered. They were selling subscription plans for the runes. No pay, no stamina. It was beautiful and evil. I tried to sabotage the runes, to make them peaceful again. But the elven lawyers reminded me I'd signed the Universal Harmony Agreement. I realized I hadn't escaped the forge. I'd just traded the hammer for a wellness strategy, and the world was burning brighter than ever. The front line changed. No camps, no tents, just rows of tactical regeneration pods. My furniture kept them alive, just to keep them killing. "I haven't slept in weeks," a soldier whispered. His eyes were wide, glowing with my runes. His body was a wreck, but the chair wouldn't let him collapse. I saw the Vanguard sofa, 5 minutes on it, and a dying man stands up. No scars healed, just pure, forced adrenaline. It was a miracle of horror. I went to the Elven board of directors. I begged them to stop. They just looked at their charts. "Demand is high, Garrim. We're disrupting the afterlife." "They don't need to die yet," Elara smiled. "Death is inefficient. Your runes prove that comfort is the ultimate strategic resource." I tried to burn the blueprints, to delete the software, but they'd already decentralized the magic. My gift was now a global cloud. The general arrived. He looked like a god. He hadn't sat on a throne. He'd become part of one, a living engine of eternal endurance. "Thanks to you, Garrim, we don't need peace. We don't even need hope. We just need more furniture." He laughed, and it sounded like dry leaves. I realized the ultimate truth. I didn't stop the swords. I just removed the only thing that ends wars: exhaustion. Now they can fight forever. I'm still a smith. I still forge death. I just call it support. I created a world that can't rest because I made it too comfortable. Hammer the like. Subscribe to the channel. I've got stools to build.